helping me? Yeah?
Hi everyone, it's Anja here and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks. I know a lot of you have commented on me crocheting without looking during the lives, and I just want to give you some tips and tricks about how to do this. Now, when you take up crochet, you really have to concentrate and look carefully at what you are doing. But once you know your stitches, you'll get much better and much faster at it, because obviously you know what you're doing and your stitches will become uniform. And that is because you repeat the same thing over and over again. When you learn to crochet and you learn different stitches, you must practice every day. Even if it's just 10 minutes, pick up that hook, work on your project, make a small thing, a sample, a coaster or a square. Once you're a little bit familiar with your stitches, it's good to make a big project. For instance, like a blanket. Quite simple, straightforward, double crochet, half double crochet, clusters of some sort. Just so that you can get yourself to a point where you can crochet without having to think about it. Afterwards, you will have learned so much about how to do the stitches, exactly what movement is needed for each stitch. Yes. What are you doing? Even if you were to make a granny square blanket as your first project, you will be making so many of them, you will know exactly what to do by the 5th or the 10th or whatever. And you will find it quite relaxing and soothing knowing the pattern by heart. And also you will just be able to whip up a few in an evening, without too much thought. Now, for this reason, it is you creating muscle memory. And it's also a feeling for the yarn that is flowing through your hands and your fingers. You also know what a stitch feels like. You have to become really familiar with what you are doing, with the materials in your hand, the fabric that you are creating. Your fingers learn all about the structure and the feeling. And this comes from making lots and lots of things and gaining lots of experience. So crocheting without looking is not something you will be doing straight away. You have to have some degree of familiarity with what you are doing. That stitch went wrong. I felt that. And of course it also depends on the stitch. Now, you cannot crochet without looking for more complicated stitches, or those that have to go into the V, or in the back loop, or under the third loop. I mean, you cannot risk the fact that you might be entering into the wrong place, okay? Because then everything will go wrong. But there is a stitch which is particularly suited to crocheting without looking. In fact, there's two. And generally I keep a bed project in these stitches, so I can just, do it when I need to, crochet in bed, on a long car journey, or just in front of the television when I actually want to watch something and not just listen. How you hold your yarn and hook and make your stitches is of little importance. You just need to be doing it the same way each time, and that you have familiarity with the yarn, with the project and with the stitches. I hold everything quite close together. I know exactly where my thread is in relation to my hook, and in my experience it's just repeating the same thing over and over again. Now I have to say, the way I hold my hook means I don't have to twist it, and that does help enormously, knowing exactly where my hook part of my hook is, so that I know it does what I want it to do. So how do I do this? Well, this is my still unfinished granny square blanket. It's a granny cluster blanket, and first of all, you need to determine where the next location is for your cluster. You're not going into the stitches, so you just need to go in between the two clusters, and it's my left hand which is feeling for that next location. Once I then insert my hook, I can then do my 3 double crochets without looking, because I know how to do those. I know that location. Then I'm finding it here. Now I am going to do my 3 double crochets again. Granny clusters are particularly suited to do this, as well as the V-stitch, because you don't have to pick up the actual V. You're just going in between the clusters. And once you are in your location, you are there. You don't have to move on for making the 3 double crochets. You just stay in that same location. And so each time you are in the correct place, you can work 3 stitches there without having to actually look. And because you know how it feels. But of course, as you have noticed throughout this video now, while I'm trying to crochet without looking, but I'm also trying to explain things and everything, every time I notice something goes wrong, I stop, look and check. Okay, am I sure I'm in the right location? Did I feel my yarn split? Did I feel that I didn't go through the 2 loops on my hook? Okay, so every time you feel something that's not right, check, go down with your eyes and check. See? There we are. So the secret lies in feeling the fabric, feeling for the next gap, knowing that you've done your 3 double crochets, go over to the next gap by seeing the fabric with your fingers, by feeling it. I know how I'm holding my hook, I know where my yarn is located, so if I do that particular motion, I know my hook is going to pick up the yarn and I'm going to be able to do the stitch. So you do the same movements for every stitch each time. Of course, you're not going to be able to do this from today. You're going to have to practice, practice, practice. My advice, once again, is practice, practice, practice. You only become really good at anything you do by doing it over and over again. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And in the beginning, don't be too trusting. Check and check in between as well. Have you tried this? Would you like to give it a go? Leave me a comment down below how you got on. Now, obviously, I know it's perfectly alright to crochet while you're looking at your work, of course. It's just a little bit of fun. I was able to do this. I don't know how I managed to start with. But, you know, it's just a bit of fun to be able to look up and just say yes or no or whatever you need to be saying, you know, at that point in time. But it's just nice that I can give you some tips and tricks on how to try and do this as well. If you can't, don't worry, you are still creating beautiful things, and you know, it's just another thing that you could challenge yourself with, maybe on a rainy afternoon. Why not? Look, I'm looking now. Doesn't matter, I'm getting it done, but I just wanted to pass on those tips and tricks that I use when I can crochet without looking. Good luck and keep crocheting. She's asleep now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this was a useful video, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye!